Good evening. Tonight I will narrate a paranormal experience for you. Now sit back and relax. Author name: Chrono Trigger 86. Story title: Truly the most terrifying experience I've ever had. So one night, my wife's son and I went over to stay at my wife's parents' house. It had gotten dark, and my son, about 2 at the time, got sleepy, so I decided to put him to bed. Let me try to explain the room to you, relevant for later. The doors open on the right side of the room. Immediately to your left is a light switch, and the queen-size bed is just besides that. It's a small room, just big enough for the bed and enough room to walk around the bed. The wall in front of the bed has a window. To the left of the bed is a closet with those weird accordion doors. I'm laying in bed with the lights out, with my son who's laying his head on my arm. He finally falls asleep, and I just lie there for a few minutes to make sure he's completely out. Then out of nowhere, I get this horrible feeling, goosebumps, hair standing up on my neck and arms. It was such an evil feeling. Have you ever gotten those goosebumps on your scalp where it feels like your scalp is shrinking? I did that night. So bad, in fact, it literally felt like someone had a hand on my head, squeezing it. I was genuinely scared. Not so much for me, but for my son. Somehow I knew deep down if I turn away from my son, something bad will happen to him. I thought if I could just turn on the light, I could grab my son and leave the room. So where I was on the bed, I could just barely touch the plastic bezel thing on the light switch. I was afraid to move because I knew if I did, whatever this thing is, it will get my son. His head was on my arm this whole time. So I finally chanced it. I jerked my arm out from under my son and turned on the light. It honestly took a split second. When I turned back to grab him, he was at the bottom of the mattress. Like something had pulled him from the top to the bottom in a split frickin' second. And I know he didn't crawl down there because he was still fast asleep. So I grabbed him up and we left the room and slept in the front room that night. Something evil wanted my child. That is truly terrifying. Personal thoughts. Way to go, Dad. Sometimes you have to trust your instincts, no matter how weird the situation is. It certainly paid off in this case. But that is just abnormal, isn't it? You feel this presence, and your body's reacting to it. That's really what you're feeling. But it seems like there really was something there. I've never experienced anything like this. And especially bizarre is the fact that his kid was dragged across the entire bed, and it is a queen-size bed, so it's not a small distance to cover, especially in a split second. I really can't explain that. All I know is, I'm glad this kid has a smart dad to watch over him and defend him from the creatures that go bump in the night.